Welcome back, gents, to day 2 of the day trading apprenticeship that I am running at the moment. In today's video, we're going to be going through the setup, as you've seen in the title. So I'm going to be setting up your TradingView, getting you a demo set up, getting your journal sorted, and some other niche background stuff, just to get your foundations ready to be able to accept the knowledge and apply the knowledge that we're going to be doing in future episodes. So, absolute essential watch today. We're going to start off with your TradingView chart. Now, I want you to go onto TradingView, okay? And when you first go onto TradingView, okay, it'll look something like this. So let it load. It'll look something like this. You're going to want to make an account because then everything saves and it's just way easier. And then you're going to want to launch super charts. Once you're on super charts, mine's just gone straight to Euro USD, but yours will go anywhere. What I do want you to add though, and you can trade whatever pair you like, but add US 100 and it'll be capital com. So if you type in US 100, then it'll say capital com. And then on your Euro USD, add the Oanda one. Okay, so now you've got 2 on here. When you first load into TradingView, you'll have loads of different stocks and shares and stuff. Just delete all of them, okay? Delete all of them and just leave these 2. If you want to make your way over to the 3 dots in the top right as well, untick these last 3. I know I'm doing this quite fast, but you can just pause and just sort it, you know what I'm saying? Untick these top 3, so then you should have something a little bit more similar to this. Now, into the settings of the chart, yours will look really weird. So at the bottom, there'll be this like volume thing, red, green, red, green, red, green bars. If you just like triple click on that and then untick where it says volume, it'll come up where you can untick it. Just untick that because you don't need that on your chart. Starting from symbol, so if you go onto the settings like I just did, double click on the candlesticks, symbol. Now, what I want you to do is, if you want my chart colors, this is what I'm running, okay? And then the rest black. Okay? Onto status line. Here's that bit of volume that I said, untick that. These is what my settings are looking like for here. This one is unchanged, I'm pretty sure, but if there's anything different to mine than yours, just alter that. You might want to pause, like I say. Canvas. If you want my canvas code, here it is. It's like an off-white, sort of eggshell looking color. Grid lines I've got turned off. Crosshair I've got as black. Watermark is hidden. This is what the text is, because if you've got a white background, you're going to want black text. If you've got a black background, you're going to want white text. Okay? Lines, off. And then this is everything like this. In terms of the trading, we don't really trade off of the TradingView chart. We're going to be trading off of a third-party software, so you're not going to need that. Alerts, we're going to be using alerts, so you're going to want these ticked. And then events, this is what this should look like. Okay, so your chart should look something like this now. Now we're going to go over to the tools that you're going to need. Now, I don't expect you to understand any of this. I just expect you to follow what I'm saying so we can set up you understanding it. So we'll start with the tools. You're going to need the trend line tool, which is right here. So if you just click favorite, it'll add into this favorites bar like I've got. You're going to also need the vertical line tool. Okay, make your way down to the second one. We're going to need the fib retracement. The third one, there isn't anything. The fourth one, long position and the short position. I also have the brush. That's not necessary. It's good to circle certain things that we're going to need to circle. You might want to add that. And the rectangle is necessary. The text tool, you're going to want to make some annotations when necessary. And that is everything I've got in terms of this. Now, we're going to customize these today as well to make sure that they are the same as mine, because yours will be red and green for this long and short tool, whereas mine are these neutral colors, because red and green is quite emotional. You hear a lot of people say it, it's true. Red doesn't necessarily mean bad and green doesn't mean good. Following your plan is good, you know what I'm saying? So that's why we differentiate that from the original colors. What I do want you to do though is, we'll get the time frames out of the way before we customize these. So for the model that I'm going to be teaching you in this bootcamp, okay, I'm going to be teaching you my model that I trade, both the mechanical one and the hybrid one, which is a mix between 2 different styles. But I'm mostly going to be just teaching you what it takes to build a model and give you enough information so that you can put together your own thing. You don't have to copy mine. You might be able to make a model that performs better than mine, okay? I'm going to show you all of the data, how I got the data and everything behind my model and what backs it. But you can go out on a quest and create your own thing. It might suit your mindset better. But for my model, I want you to favorite the 5-minute, the 15-minute, the hourly, the 4-hour, and the daily, okay? So Now, going into customizing the tools, we'll start with the long and the short tool. So the lines I've got as black, stop color got as black on the 14% opacity, and then target color is this bluey green color on 11%, and then I've unticked these. The text is white. I don't think there's anything on here that's different. Nope. Same again, but the opposite on here. Once again, pause the video if you need to, okay? And then text here. Right, now I've got those set up. Fib tool, this is a big one. So for the fib tool, you want to edit the fib tool settings like so, double click, untick the trend line, and these are the levels that I'm going to be using for my model. Once again, you can do your own, but let's just follow this for now. Untick all of these, leave text on, and then there's nothing else that you'll need to do in there. In terms of the trend line tool, I'm going to give you shortcuts for the trend line tool today. When we're using this in the future, if you click down and then drag, if you now hold shift, it makes it a perfect straight line. You're going to need this for later, okay? And then if you hold command, if you're on Mac, or control if you're on Windows, it turns on the magnet and it auto locks to the nearest candle or wick, okay? So in terms of the settings for this, I just make it so it's 1 pixel, as you can see here, when it comes up here, 1 pixel, and then look, I have it as black. Nothing deep there. The rectangle, I mean, once again, it's nothing really deep again. It's 1 pixel and it's just like border, nothing, background, 20% opacity, black. And then the text tool, there's nothing. The vertical line tool, I would actually recommend doing this 1 pixel and then make it dashed, just so it's low profile on your chart. Okay, we've done all that now. Now we're gonna need the fractals indicator by Rachel T. This basically puts these upside down triangles above and below highs and lows that we're gonna be using within the model, okay? What you will need to do though is you'll need to go into the fractal settings, top left of your screen, settings, and just change these top ones to black. If you've got a white background, and then white if you've got a black background, okay? So, that's all done. We've got our pairs, we've got all the tools, we've got the time frames, we've got the indicator, we've got TradingView. Now, what I'm gonna set you up is a nice demo with CTrader. So, with my model, we will be doing something called a limit order. Now, you don't need to know what that is right now, but what you do need to know is that with limit orders, in my opinion, CTrader has the best usability and features to support that style, okay? So I go with CTrader. You might hear a lot of people talking about MetaTrader or DXTrade or whatever. It's just basically a platform that your funded account or your broker will be funneled into to then take the trades. So as you can see, I've got mostly ACG accounts on here. I have got another login, as you can see, with FTMO accounts. Let's just see when this loads. And then as you can see, look, I've got my FTMOs on this platform here. So I've got 2 different logins here. Anyway, what we're gonna do is, I need you to go on to CTrader. Now, the website that you actually need to go on is this, app.ctrader.com, okay? And I'll link a lot of this stuff in the description for you guys so you can have links to everything. But what you're gonna wanna do is, you're gonna wanna open a new trading account, and let's just do a 10K demo in USD. Okay, because a 10K is a good funded account challenge to get you started with, especially when we're first starting out, because there'll be a lot of mistakes that you guys will make. And we're going to be emulating trading on that with the risk that we're doing. So let's make a 10K demo. And if you click open account, as you can see, it will just put me on this, and then we can place trades on here. Now, you'll have to add in your charts, so like Euro USD, and then it's called US Tech 100 on here. Okay, if you want the US 100, it's just a different name, and then it will have the charts on here. We'll go into how you place trades on here much later down the line because we're not ready for that yet. I just want to get everything set up in today's video. Okay, next we're going to go on to Google Sheets. Now, what I use Google Sheets for is one of my 2 journals. Now, I do use a auto journaling software, which once again, I'll speak a lot about later down the line. Essentially, you link it to your trading account and it auto journals for you, and it's really good. I use that. It's called TradeZeller. But anyway, link for that will be in the description. But as a free resource, because TradeZeller isn't free, I do also use Google Sheets because it gives you a top-down analysis. Now, if you're new to trading, this is all going to mean nothing. It's going to be so much jargon on your screen and you don't even know what it is. But we're going to need it in the future. So what I recommend doing is open a fresh Google Sheets up, and I want you to copy these different variables that I've got here. These would be, I think, the basics for journaling. I mean, it's just really, really basic. You're just tracking your results pretty much. And then there can be a notes section on the back end for any relevant notes that you might need. Get this set up. And what I also want you to get set up is a nice little journal. Now, what I mean by a journal, not a trading journal, is just like a notepad or a Google Docs, something where you can track your thoughts, your emotions, and your feelings around trading, and also so you can track your progress, because your mindset around trading is going to be ever changing. You'll go through good periods, bad periods, and then areas where it's in the middle, okay? And I want you to be tracking this, so definitely get an IRL notepad or a Google Docs as well, okay? So as bare minimum though, we've got now the Google Sheets with all of this, we've got the C-Trader demo, we've got the indicator, the time frames, and all of the settings around the tools, the colors, the chart stuff on TradingView. We've also got our pairs, okay? The last thing that I want to go over in this video in terms of the setup is going to be Forex Factory. Now, every strategy, you should have some sort of news rules that will allow you to dance around high impact news events with still allowing you to trade on most days. But in order to find out about what news is going to come up, we use a website called Forex Factory. Now, my settings for my model, once again, doesn't have to be the same for you, is this, okay? So if you go onto Forex Factory, just tick these. This is all that you'll need if you're going to be trading my model. This is, once again, we're going to go much more in depth about this in later episodes with actual details on what is a banned news event, okay? So now, especially if you're brand new, you now are ready to actually trade on the charts if you had knowledge. One last thing though, that I will highly recommend you do is get the TradingView app on your phone, okay? Because on your phone, what you can do is set alerts on your PC or even on your phone, and then when those alerts get hit, your phone will vibrate. And that's really handy, especially if you guys are balancing trading around work or other life commitments. You don't want to be watching the chart all day, especially with the model that I'm going to teach you. It's very low maintenance, but you do need alerts to check on which levels are going to be hit at which times, and then you can find out when you need to jump on the charts or not. So get your TradingView links on your phone, make sure the notifications are on, make sure you sign in with the same account as here. Also, get C-Trader on your phone as well. It's an app on the App Store, so then you can trade off of your phone in terms of the brokerage. And then Forex Factory is just a website, so you can literally put that on your Safari, on your phone, or whatever. If you've got an Android, whatever the fuck they use, all right? So, we've got everything we need now to actually learn trading, okay? So this episode was just me, number one, just getting the foundations laid, okay? So on episode 1, we talked about the mindset you guys needed. I didn't set your homework for that episode because I didn't think you needed any homework. But for today's homework, because I now will be setting homework every day, for today's homework, number 1, do all of the things I've told you in this video. Go out there, get a journal, either an IRL journal or a Google Docs, write some notes out, write some thoughts and feelings about trading so far, write down your aspirations, bro, with this game. It's not good to expect stuff, but it's nice to have something to work towards. In the description, there'll be a link to my free Discord where we've made a channel, especially for this series, where you can chime in and put your contributions of your homework in that channel, and my staff will review it, make sure you're doing everything right, and then help you out a bit as well. And there's also going to be some incentives and rewards for those who do every single day of homework, and you'll find out more about that in the future. But post your homework in there, because I promise you it will be worth it. Get involved and join us on the journey, bro, because if you're a new trader, or even if you're an experienced trader, it's good to get good foundations laid, okay? If you've got bad foundations through learning through so many different gurus, so many different educators, and your brain is just frazzled, mixing loads of different philosophies together, it'll be good for you guys to just start fresh with one philosophy, one aspect of trading that you're focusing on, so you can just master it. Instead of being a jack of all trades and a master of none, you can be a master of this one style of trading and you can just get it done. Because there are so many different ways to trade, but if you trade in so many different ways, usually it doesn't work at all. Whereas if you trade in one way, you can at least get results from that one way. Then maybe you can expand your vision into different styles, but right now let's just focus on mastering one, okay? If you made it this far in the video, pop a comment below saying TTC so I know you've watched it to this part of the video. But that is all I've got to say for today's video. Like I say, bro, baby steps. Let's not rush into this. Trading is for life. You don't need to do it in 2 weeks. You don't need to speed run this game. Let's take it one step at a time so the foundations can be strong, because I don't want you guys messing this up. I want you guys to have the best start and the best opportunity and the best chance as you possibly can, okay? So do the homework for today. Go out there, buy a journal, get the TradingView on your phone, get all the Google Sheets set up, configure your TradingView, get the news up, get everything sorted and dialed. One more addition to today's homework, and I know I've just listed off loads of things, but they'd take like 5 minutes. I want you guys to make your setup clean. If you've got a desk at home, okay, I need you to clean it, make it dank. Maybe go to the shop, bro, and get some additions to your desk. Get a nice little lamp, get some cool shit that you like. So when you're in your setup, you're zoned in, you've got a nice, calm place where you've got your stuff that you like, things that you're interested in on your desk. but more importantly, everything's clean, everything's symmetrical, everything's set up. We want to be disciplined. And if you've got a messy setup, then you're not going to be disciplined at all. So the last piece of homework, and this is the one I want you guys to send proof in the Discord, is a picture of your newly upgraded setup. I don't care if you get a new monitor, maybe you get a new laptop, maybe you even get a place for your notebook, maybe you get a place for your coffee, maybe you get a plant or a lamp. I don't care. Make it dank, make it you, and let's fucking crush it, bro. So peace, love, and unity. I'll see you in the comments, I'll see you in the Discord, and I'll see you in that homework channel.